can, basically what you're doing is helping people perform at the peak of whatever it is that they say they seem to be challenged by. If it can be a study, the ability to study for a child and concentrate. It can be depression. It can be, like you say, PTSD. But primarily for this purpose of the show, it is about changing our brainwave patterns that support our business ventures. Yes or no?
Yes. In a sense, there's no difference between a test pilot, a golfer trying to sink a putt at the U.S. Masters, and somebody making a business decision. They're all the same thing. They're just different arenas. What you need to be able to do in each and every one of those situations is when you need to be aware, you need to be ready, you need to go. But when you're going to press the button, when you're going to make the decision, you have to calm. You have to reach a more global state. Is this what I want to do? Is this the right move? And you're not going to answer that question correctly if you're buzzing, if you're running on fear, or you're running on doubt, or you're running on some past trauma. You are not going to make a wise decision. Your big brain needs to settle. Yes, you do a lot of work. There's no shortage of that. And then you have to work through decisions. But in order to make a correct one, just like a test pilot, just like a good putter, you need to be able to drop into a nice, regulated state of stillness and then act, So this is the universal phenomena. I don't care what the arena is. That's the ability you need. And you may need that many, many times, because a lot of micro decisions go on as well as macro decisions.
Okay. And also, it kind of brings it back to the fact about meditation. I know a lot of people roll their eyes and think, come on, this Eastern stuff. You are saying, and in fact, it sounds like you slip into that particular state, and it is in the meditative state where there is clarity. Yes, where you're centered and, you're not, no sweaty palms, your heart isn't racing, and you get that focus that you otherwise won't get.
Yes.
And you're saying that using neurofeedback, you can actually train yourself and at a drop of a hat, call up when you need that to be in that state at your will.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to argue that neurofeedback is better than meditation. I think it's broader. Most people meditate, they only reach alpha. It's only the yogis and the deeper spiritualists that go into the really, really low brainwave states where they're still conscious, where we'd be asleep. They can go into really slow states, global awareness states, and stick skewers through their tongue and not even show a sign of reaction. I'd be screaming. But most people, when they do meditation, they only reach alpha, which is a nice state. It's a nice state to be in. And a good practice of that is excellent. But I know people, when they're over-aroused, they won't achieve that at all. Well, they won't achieve that at all. One of my cats has come to visit. And so meditation is an important thing. Mindfulness. There's points of stillness. You need to be able to create them. I don't care how you do that. Whether you blow smoke to the north, or you chant, or you ring bells, or you meditate, as long as you can achieve that state, you will do better. Now, with the neurofeedback, I think we have a slightly broader range. Well, maybe not slightly. We have a broader range where we can regulate. Over-aroused people will not be able to achieve a reasonable state of meditation. Under-aroused people probably shouldn't.
But with neurofeedback, you can call up that state at will in the moment.
Yes, because it's learned. The interesting thing about, if I go back a little bit, what brainwaves are, they are neurons in an organized state. They're a bound state. So they get together as a group and decide, we're going to do this. And those electric oscillations that they produce is the brain doing its thing. It's memory, thought, referring everything to the remembered present. What you expectation is the key that you're talking about with this mindfulness idea around wealth. What we expect is set in our minds as a background. Now, that is controlled through the oscillations of the brainwaves. Now, that's the cool thing. So that you can actually come back and start to change some of the fabric, just as you do with psychotherapy and cognitive behavior therapy, and all of these methods all do that, some better than others.